Hey, you, welcome. Grab your coffee or your wine or your cocktail. I don't judge. And come sit with me for a few minutes. If you're new here, first of all, I am so glad you found us. And since you and I are about to spend a lot of time together, I want to tell you something I don't always do properly introduce myself because you deserve to know exactly who's going to be in your ear every single week and why on earth I talk about healing like it's a rock concert. Well, hi. I'm Tracy Smaldino, actually, Rockstar Tracy. Here's the fastest way to describe me. I'm a trauma survivor who decided to become a hot mess out loud on purpose so that you don't have to do yours alone. That's basically my whole personality. You're a hot mess? Same. Embrace it, own it, and let's build something beautiful out of it together. And you deserve to know what I was actually carrying because if I'm going to walk alongside you in your story, you should know mine. When I was a little girl, I was a sole survivor of a fatal car accident where I was burned on 70% of my body, amongst many, many other injuries. I lost both my cousins that day. A few years later, I survived sexual assault. And like so many survivors, I did exactly what I thought I was supposed to do. I packed it all down, put on a smile, and kept the show running. For decades, I carried it in silence, and I truly believed that was just what I was supposed to do. I'm the person who will cry with you. Then 30 seconds later, I'll make you laugh because this is genuinely true. I always say, at least my trauma made me funny. I have a deeply unserious love of matching PJs and slippers. I just love them. I've got drawers of them. I have dogs who have simply accepted me for my goofy personality. And somewhere along the way, I got upgraded from a childhood nickname of Bubbles to Firecracker. And honestly, I love it. That's the human you're dealing with. And let me tell you the two things about my life that explain this entire show and why you can trust me to be your healing guide through it. The first thing to know about me is I live in the world of music. For almost 10 years, I lived and breathed in the music industry. I was one of the only female production managers in the business at House of Blues Las Vegas. And when I say I was there from the very beginning, I mean the place was literally dirt when I started. A construction site, a hard hat, and it became one of the most iconic music venues in the country. And I helped build it from the ground up. My blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm not joking, even a few cartwheels are in that building. I used to get there sometimes at 6 in the morning before everyone else because it was quiet and I had this whole space to myself. I'd hit the lights and I'd run and I'd do cartwheels across that empty stage that 12 hours later was going to be holding somebody legendary just because it was mine for 20 minutes before the entire world showed up. I followed my dad into that world. Music has been the heartbeat of my whole family. My father's a musician and was an entertainment director for years. My brother's a touring drummer. It's just who we are. And as a production manager, I ran everything 18-hour days, load ins at 5 in the morning, going through artist riders line by line. And yes, the brown M&Ms is a real thing. You can imagine it was Vegas. I got some crazy requests. I would have to give a very firm hell no on, but I'll leave it up to your imagination what some of those requests might have been. But I would get them. I met all the icons every single week. BB King. He looked at me one day in the green room and said, "Baby, come sit right next to me." He just wanted to have a conversation. One time I walked into my office and turning around in my chair was Bono. He was sitting there like he owned the place. One time I was picking up Stevie Nicks for her show to walk her down to the venue, and she came to the door in her pajamas and slippers and curlers in her hair. And at that point, I understood that she and I were spiritually the same person. And I had a mentor named Jed, very, very well known and respected in the industry. And he was the biggest teddy bear alive. One day he caught me mid cartwheel going across the stage and he just rolled his eyes, handed me my coffee because he used to get me my coffee for me every morning. And he just loved me exactly as I was. And I lost him last year and I'm still feeling it. I tell you all of this not to name drop. All right, maybe a little because it was exciting, but because it matters for everything coming next. I know concerts, not from the crowd, from backstage, from the inside. I speak this language fluently because I lived it really my entire life. The second thing to know about me, though, is I was also quietly falling apart inside. Now, here's the part I hid for such a long time. While I was running those glamorous sold out shows, I was also coming undone. I had this feeling in me that had no name that would rise up in me out of absolute nowhere and shout my whole body down in the pit of my stomach, the numbness, everything. It was like hitting the brakes. And I had hiding spots, bathrooms, parking lots. And there was this little dark space under the stage I helped build. I would hide under there. So picture that. The girl doing cartwheels on the empty stage was also the girl hiding underneath it. For years, I thought that meant I was broken. I wasn't. I was traumatized. My body had been carrying trauma I hadn't dealt with yet for decades. Eventually, life cracked me all open wide, and I had no choice but to face it. So I did the work, the real, unglamorous, terrifying, but absolutely life changing work of the healing. And it gave me my life back. That's the other half of me, survivor and now thriver. That's also why I started Trauma Rockstars in the first place. Because when I was under that stage, I would have given anything to have somebody in my ear telling me I wasn't broken and I wasn't alone. So now I get to be that person for you. What is a rock star? A rock star is anybody who is trying to be the very, very best version of themselves, who's making little tiny steps every day to just get there, to heal. That's what a rock star is. And that's why the birth of Trauma Rock Stars started. So, why should you trust me to be your healing guide? Well, here's the honest answer. I'm not a guru on the mountain telling you to just think positive. I'm not handing you worksheet from behind a desk. I'm the person who ran the biggest shows in town and hid under that very same stage. But who also survived the unthinkable and crawled my way back to joy. And yes, maybe some more cartwheels were in the picture. I speak two languages fluently, the language of the stage and the language of healing. And this show is where I finally get to put them all together. And I want to be really clear about the kind of guide I am. I'm not above you on the road. I'm just a few steps ahead, turning around, reaching my hand back for yours, saying, come on, you've got this, and I've got you. That's the whole job. That's why I'm here. Why healing is like a concert to me. Okay. Now, let me tell you why I talk about healing like a concert, because this is the beating heart of everything we're going to do together. One day, deep in my own healing, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Every single thing I managed for over a decade inside the venue is exactly the same thing healing quietly asks of all of us. I didn't have to invent a metaphor, I already lived it. So walk through it with me. Like some examples. The rider. It's a list of everything an artist needs to feel safe and cared for before they step on stage. Your healing has a rider too. The things you need to feel safe, your boundaries, your non negotiables. And spoiler, you're allowed to ask for them. And then there's load in and load out. It's what you carry into the building and what you haul back out. There's the healing. It's what you're carrying. and what you finally get to set down. And then what about the green room? Everybody's heard of the green room backstage. It's the safe place where you drop the act, you recharge before you go back on. You need one of those in your life, and we're going to build it together. What about the sound check? That's where you test the levels before the show so nothing blows out. And healing, it's checking in with yourself before you burn yourself down. And then what about the crew? That's everyone behind the scenes who makes the show possible. Because I promise you, not one single headliner on earth does it alone. And then there's the breakdown or the teardown, the bridge, and the headliner moment. Here's the part that still gets me every time. For almost 10 years, my entire job was making sure everybody else could walk out into the light and be the star while I hid underneath that stage. I produced everybody's show but my own. Healing was me finally walking out from under that stage and into my own spotlight. And this show, this is me handing you the mic and helping you produce yours. Because you are not a groupie in someone else's story. You are the headliner of your own. And here's the tour. And here's what we're doing together. And I cannot be more excited about it. Consider this your all access backstage pass. I'm handing it to you. This is a year-long tour because I'm going to have something special every single week. And it's going to have the music theme, of course, because we are trauma rock stars. But every single week, I'm taking you behind the scenes into each part of the concert. There's going to be things like the set list, the sound check, the green room, the rider, the crew, the breakdown, the bridge, etc., all the way to your headliner moment and turning it into a real doable tool you can actually use in your life. No fluff, no toxic positivity, no just think happy thoughts, just honest backstage access to your own healing with a tour guide who has walked every single inch of it. This is going to move the needle. Because who doesn't love music? And you, my friend, were never meant to watch your own life from the cheap seats. So welcome to the tour. I am so genuinely glad that you're here. If you want to know where you are on your own set list right now and where to even begin, take my free life audit quiz over at traumarockstars.com. It's 8 questions. It literally just takes a few minutes and it'll point you straight to where your first step should be. Hundreds of people have taken it and it's been really eye-opening. And if you want a crew that truly gets it, come join us in our live green room event that's happening on July 15th, because you don't have to do a single part of this alone. And another thing I'd like to share with you, I've been doing a lot of writing lately, a lot of writing, working on something I cannot wait to share with you. It's everything I wish existed when I was going through the hardest parts of my story. But even more exciting than that, because of course, music, I actually built a Spotify playlist of songs that literally saved me during my healing journey. I'll drop it in the link. It's the Trauma Rockstars songs that saved us. And I want you to listen when you need it. And please message me your healing song. I will add it to the list. This can be an ongoing thing. And I know a lot of this can seem very overwhelming, but if you're not sure where to start, I built something for this exact moment, and it's that life audit quiz. That's where you have to go to start. 5 minutes, that's it. You can give yourself a couple minutes to do it. We are celebrating 1 year of Trauma Rockstars, and I want to give something back to the community. Details will be coming soon for that, so stay tuned. But you are not a groupie in somebody else's story. You are the headliner of your own, and that is rockstar resilience. The content on this podcast revolves around personal life experiences and is meant to serve as a learning tool. I am not a certified therapist or medical expert. This podcast doesn't offer medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're curious about your mental or physical well being, feel free to reach out to a licensed healthcare professional for assistance.